Hello, and welcome to technology training video on Google Drive basics. So today we're going to be focusing on the basics of Google Drive. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is log in. So if you haven't logged into your Drive before, or you don't remember how to log into your Drive, just go to Staff, Administrative Resources, and then you're going to choose the GPISD Google Apps portal. You're going to use your universal login and password, and then it's going to take you to your Google Drive. All right, so the first thing that you're going to see in your Google Drive is in the top left-hand corner, you're going to see this button called the New menu. So let's go ahead and click on it. When you do, you're going to see several options underneath the New menu, including the New Folder item, File Uploads, Folder Uploads, and the various Google applications. So let's talk about folders. The best way to organize your Google Doc is to put things into folders. And so if you have a bunch of loose items like I do, you can make some folders and you can put things into those folders. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to go here to New Folder, and I'm going to create a new folder. And then it's going to ask me, what do I want to name it? So I'm going to go ahead and name it. I'm going to name it Photos. And then I'm going to create that folder. Okay, so I have several things I want to put in this Photos folder. So I have this photo right here, and then I can hold down on the Shift key and I can select items in a series like that, or I can hold down on the Control key and I can pick items that are not in a series to put into that folder. So I'm going to put this one and this one and this one, this one, and this one, and this one. This one, I want to put all those items. You see how they're lit up in blue? So I can put all those items into that folder. And so there's two different ways I can put them in that folder. I can just grab them, and it's going to take all 12 of those, and I can just drop it in that folder, and I'll put them in there. Or I can right-click, and I can go up here, and I can choose Move To. And it's going to ask me, well, where do you want to move it? So I want to move it to the folder called Photos. And then if there was a folder inside of the Photos folder, I could then choose that folder as well. So I'm going to click Move, and then you notice they're all gone. They're no longer in my Drive. They're still my Drive, but they're not in my top level of my Drive. They're actually in this folder over here called Photos. And when I open it up, all those photos are there. You notice I can go back. So once I'm in a folder, there's a little, what they call a breadcrumb trail up here at the top. So it shows my Drive, and inside of my Drive is the Photos folder. So I can go back to my Drive by just clicking on my Drive. Or you can always click on Drive right there in the top left-hand corner, and it takes you back to your Drive. So folders are a great way to organize all of the things in your Drive. So let's talk about some of the other things underneath in this stack right here on the left. Okay, so besides your Drive, you have Shared with Me. Shared with Me is where you're going to find any document that's been shared to you by another person. Or also, if you have a Google Classroom, which I teach a class, so I have a Google Classroom. When my students create a document, their documents also appear in my Shared with Me. Your Shared with Me, you cannot organize this in any way other than you can sort. You can sort by the share date, most recent to least recent, or least recent to most recent. And that's really all that you can do. You can search within this, and you can scroll around in there to find things that have been shared with you. But you can't put things into folders inside of your Shared with Me. It's simply just all of the things that other people have shared with you. All right. Then you have your recent items. This is exactly what it says, the most recent things that you have been working on. So today, these are all the things that I have worked on or looked at. In the case of these documents from my students in my Google Classroom, I graded them, so I had to open them up. So there they are in my recent documents. And then it shows me earlier this week. Right? And it starts off with today, earlier this week, and then it just keeps going earlier this month. All right. You also have the option here, the same as you can change this from the list view, which is how I have it now, or no, into the list view. So you can look at things based on the date that they were opened, the owner, and the size, or you can go back to the grid view, which is what I prefer, because in the grid view you get a little preview of what those documents look like. Okay. All right, so the next folder is your starred folder. This is a very useful folder, or it can be if you star items. So you notice I just have a small number of items in my starred folder, and I like to keep it that way, and I don't like it to get more than about 20 things in my starred folder. So how would I put something in or take something out of my starred folder? So anything that's in your drive or anything that's shared with you can go into your starred folder. And it can be folders. You notice when I go to my starred folder, I have several folders in here, but I also have individual documents. These are documents that I use all the time, okay? Not documents that I only use every so often. So if I wanted to add something to that, to my starred folder, such as, for example, here's a document that I've been working on a lot lately, and this is a presentation that I'm going to be giving later on this month. And I can add a star to this document by right-clicking on it and choosing Add Star. Okay, and now if I go to my starred items, there it is. It's in my starred items. It is one of my several items in that starred folder. Okay. So I can just leave it there, or if I decide I don't really want that in my starred items anymore, I can just right-click on it again, and I can choose Remove Star. You can also remove stars from documents such as, let me go ahead and open up this document, the Google certification document. Whenever you're in Docs, right here next to the name of the document, you'll see the star. Now, if I unclick the star, now it's no longer in my starred documents folder. But if I click it again and I add that star back, now it's back in my starred documents folder. Okay, so that's another way that you can add stars. And so this is just like a shortcut to find things that you use all the time. So I put things, that's the only things I star. I star things that I use all the time, and I keep them in my starred items folder. All right, let's talk about sharing something with another person. So I'm going to actually go back to this Evolve presentation that I've been working on, and I can share this. So I'm going to be working on this presentation with another technology specialist. She's going to be assisting me to make the presentation, so I can share this with her. So what I can do is I can put in her Galena Park ISD email. So crogers at, and you notice it's always at gpapps.galenaparkisd.com. Those are our emails that we use within Google Drive in our GP Apps account. It's not our regular email, but this is the name of your account within your Google Drive. So whenever you want to log into your Google Drive from a device like an Apple device or an Android device, and you're using the app, this is the full address, the full username that you need to use when it asks for your email address. Okay. So I have some choices now. I've added her. I could add more people, but I only really need to add Ms. Rogers. Now I can choose some different things. I can choose can edit or can view, and different documents might have some different choices. So I could have it where she can just look at it, or I can make her an editor, right? So I'm going to go ahead, and you notice that it will notify the people that I'm saying this to. I could uncheck this, but why wouldn't I want to? I want to notify that person, and so it'll send her a notification. And so now she's added right here, and I still have the option to change. I could make her the owner of this document and keep her as an editor, or I can make it where she can just look at it, just view. Okay. And of course, I could delete her entirely from this document by just Xing out on her as a member of the ownership on this document. So now it's shared with her. So it'll show up in her shared with me folder. Okay. So that's where she'll find it. All right, let's talk about uploading and downloading things to your Google Drive. So you can upload things by simply going up here to New, File, Upload. So you can upload documents such as Word documents or PowerPoints, things of that nature. You can also upload entire folders by clicking on the folder upload. So this is just for an individual file. So it's going to ask you where's the file that you want to upload. So let's say I want to upload this logo right here, the ECHS logo. I would just click on it and click open. It's uploading that logo. It says it's complete. I can X out of that. And it should show up pretty soon in my drive. Sometimes it takes Google a little while to update things when you're uploading things into your drive. Ah, and there it is. I wasn't in my drive. I was in my start items. So I went to my drive, and there's the logo that I uploaded. So it's always going to upload things into your main drive, and then you would, of course, need to put those into folders if that's what you wanted to do, right? So I could make a folder, a new folder that says ECHS. I'm not going to do that right now, but I could. And then I could put that item away.